Hi, everybody. Good afternoon and welcome back. My name is Shireen Dickens,
I'm Clyde Morrison.
and we are with the business of cleaning, where we show cleaning business owners how to go from self employed in the trenches to CEOs. So, today we're going to be talking about the interview process. How do you conduct interviews? What do you do if you don't have an office? What is the process of interviews, Zoom versus in person? We want to cover all that and make sure that you guys are getting the kind of information that will assist you with your interview process so that we can go from self-employed to CEO. So again, I've got Clive here. He is the master with interviews, and the only reason I'm saying this is because I've met with Clive's employees. You can tell when employees are happy, they're good people, they work very well, they're happy to check in. It doesn't seem like they're like, oh God, back to work. They're showing up and they're happy, and it's because Clive got this process down packed from employee retention. We just did a video on that one. If you haven't seen that, check it out. The interview process, the onboarding process, the hiring process, all of this, we've got it down packed, and I'm here with the Grandmaster. Doom! It's like Grandmaster, you know what's up. So Clive, take us through it. Like, what is the interview process, and what is the interview process, number one?
All right, so back and front, the interview process, right, is just having an interview with somebody, just seeing if they're a good fit, and if you're a good fit for them, right? A lot of times we're like, oh, I'm going to interview this person, see if they want a job. They might not want your job. It's like, I don't want your job, fam. Like, we went through this whole thing. Now, I don't want you. That's all you paying? That what y'all got going on here? Oh, that's the hours y'all got? No, I don't want your job.
Slap to me to think somebody don't want my job. Like, how dare you?
So it's a balance. We have to remember, you know what I'm saying? So we're trying to see if we're a good fit for each other, right? It's not just me giving you a job. It's trying to see, hey, is this something that's compatible with that? So I think that sometimes we miss that, right?
So take us through a quick step. I don't want just to delve into your whole process. I know that takes time. But take us on a quick step-by-step of where you start with the interviews, how do you bring people in, like, how do you conduct them in a manner that works for your business?
All right, so for us, the interview process starts after somebody fills out the application, right? So we've got an application, and that's a whole process in itself, if they even fit the criteria, right? After they fill out the questions.
Paper or online?
Online, okay. You know what I mean? So once they come in and they fill out the application, everybody has to fill out the application, I don't care who you are. And once they fill out the application, now we have to set up, are they going to come? Now you'll have many people that don't even show up, don't come. So in order not to waste our time, we have to pre-screen them, right? So our assistant, the VAs, they'll actually call them, say, hey, we got your application, everything is good, and can you select the time? I'm going to send you a calendar, right? And then you send them the calendar right there. But so some people just said, so we used to send them the calendar where we would just be like, sign up and get a time, and sometimes people would, sometimes people would, because they were confused. So now we just have the VA stay on the phone with them until they select the time. Okay. I don't want the calendar, so that we make sure that process is smooth with them. And then, of course, we're waiting for them to show up, right? So we have all the time batched together. So that way we can have 3 or 4 or 5 interviews within a 2-hour period. Now, we do Zoom, right? We do Zoom. There is Office, so going through Zoom versus Office. If I was in the office, if I was doing Office, what I would do is I would actually have a group interview, right? Okay. And I would have that interview. I would have, say, if I conducted on Tuesday and Thursdays, I would get 5 or 6 people to come in at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, that because you don't want to have people coming in scatteredly, or you even have it where, hey, this time period, right? So you'll see like a McDonald's, they'll be like, oh, we have interviews from 2 to 4, okay. So people can just walk in at that time, right? At that time. So it's not like, hey, you got to be here at 2:30. So that's what I would do with the office. But the same thing with Zoom, where we have a 15-minute period. They can come in, they can be online, and they can come into the group.
And do you do in group when you do Zoom interviews? Do you do them by group or do you do individually?
I do them individually, but their times will be elapsed, right?
Oh, the times will be grouped. So
Yeah.
you do them individually, but between the same time frame.
It'll be a 2 hour time. Yeah,
2 to 4.
exactly. So you have a two. Well, I mean, and you can choose. You may want to do the whole day, but we have 15-minute periods. So we have a 5-minute break between each Zoom period, and then we have so we schedule it for 10 minutes, but we think it's going to go over, right? And then 5 minutes in between that, where it's going on, huh?
Okay, that's a good standard for Zooms. If you're not used to using Zoom, make sure to give yourself that time in between.
Yeah, in
That'll
between.
get really crazy if you try to do back-to-backs. But I like how your process is already, because as soon as they put in the online app, someone gets back in contact with them. How soon is that? Is that like quickly, or do you...
Within the next business day.
Oh, that's
Right.
amazing.
Yeah,
So everyone that puts in an application gets contacted within the next business day,
Yep.
whether you're going to hire them or not?
Well, because we haven't done an interview yet. I'm
Okay.
saying, so there's actually, if you're not ready for it, right? Be like, hey, we'll just be like, hey, the online screen will tell you that right now we don't think we may come call you back, but right now we don't think you're a fit for the position, or we don't have a position for you right now.
How do you have that set up exactly? Is that...
There's
Is that
automation
online?
going on. Yeah,
Okay.
online. So if they fill out the application, depending on the questions they answer, it'll submit it to us. Hey, thank you, somebody will contact you shortly. Be looking out for a phone call, right? And then we have a phone number that actually is on there. They can call in, but this are just our job lines. We have a line specifically for the jobs, right? So that way nobody's calling in, tying up the business line.
I told you guys, Clive is the man with this. I told you, Clive is the man with this. You can see it.
I mean, we just been through a lot, because people will call the main line, and then you'll be jammed up, and you want to make sure you know when the calls are. So we have the business line that people actually, the job line people actually call, so we know that they're jobs. All right, and we have 2 VAs. We don't want the salesperson getting tied up, right? Somebody's calling, because they have to answer all calls. So we don't want them getting tied up with a call that's not from an actual client.
Nice.
So once they get the call back, and then we do the process, of course, of saying, well,
Nice. So I like that process. I see that you have a lot of automations in there. This is something that Clive is really good at, and we're going to do other videos where he's going to delve a little bit deeper into those automations and how you can set them up in your business and make your employee onboarding process much simpler and smoother, like how yours is.
Yeah, so people always say automation, right? And I like to say automatic. So we do use automation, but there's a mix of human in there, right? So what we want to do is have the process automatic, right? So we have our hiring process automatic. Is it a human, or is it automatic, or is it a computer that has to do this process? Right. So they go through there, right? There's actually somebody who has to call them, right? That's not a computer, but it's automatically happening based on something the computer did.
I like that. And in anything where we need to scale and grow, or if it's any process that we need to happen on a regular basis, you should be looking to automate or make automatic any process that needs to happen at any regular interval. So that means hiring, it should be automatic.
Yeah.
It should be automatic with some human intervention. I like that too, because then it makes you feel like you're not just coming to work for what company. You get to a feel kind of who you're dealing with. That part of the interview process is very important. That helps people, feel like they're welcome immediately.
Yeah, definitely.
Before they've even, because at this point we haven't even offered them a job yet.
Yeah, we haven't offered a job yet.
You feel how this company works. You feel like you're important. You feel like they're important, and like you said, you guys get a feel for each other, which is amazing.
Just think about this, right? What happens with most jobs is that people. So you're just going on Indeed, Monster, Job, ZipRecruiter, any of these jobs, right? People are posting jobs, right? They apply to 100 jobs. Yeah. And when they apply to the job, they just get a response. Hey, we'll contact you. We'll see you later. People used to call us back and be like, "What job is this?"
That was me. I've been looking for jobs, put out 100 resumes, literally agreed to go there and not know what the heck they are.
Not what they're talking about, right? So because of that, we make sure people know they were a good fit. That's why the pre-interview is there. We don't want you having to jump on a Zoom, get on the call, do all these things. That's why there's even so many questions. because we want to make sure you understand what you're going through. We're trying to eliminate people who don't know what's going on. Hey, there's a video on our job screen to say, hey, what we're about, the company's about, so that we're trying to inform you at every process, because we want to make sure you know if you don't like this is not for you. Right? People are like, oh, I didn't know this was a cleaning job. I thought it was a dumpster job. You know what I'm saying? Like, we literally
we're cleaning, and you know this, but it's because you have educated your prospective employee along the whole route.
So even creating videos where between the interview, between the first initial call and the interview, and telling them more about your company.
Nice.
Right?
I like that idea. I want all of us as cleaning owners to create the video. Like, we don't have to be video experts, but do a 2-minute about
You just
your
tell
company.
me about just what your company's
Yeah,
about.
just
Who is this for, right? Who is this company for? What type of employee? Hey, if you're a fun-loving person that enjoys cleaning, you're detailed, and you love to see when something's clean, this is the job for you, right? Or if you like flexible hours and you look for weekends and you just want some extra side income, and you have a good attitude, this for you. Whatever your job description is.
Copyright, I'm telling you guys, line for line, put that down. That is gold. That description didn't say anything about actually picking up a broom.
Nah.
It said if you're enthusiastic and you like to do X, Y, and Z, come and talk to us. I like that. All of this makes the interview process simpler for your potential employee. And here's the main part. It stands your business out, right? You're not just some rinky-dink cleaning company. You are a legitimate business. They've looked at you online. Your online presence is set. You have applied online. The response was online. That not only looks legitimate, it is legitimate, and it creates an atmosphere where the employee respects your company. Because if you bring them in on the fly and they don't respect what you're doing, it's going to come out in how they work, how they act, how they speak to each other, and everything. So this interview process that you've introduced us to today is actually, setting yourself up as being that business, the good business. Even if it isn't a fit for them, they still have respect for your foundation and the way that you set it up.
Nah, but that exactly what goes on, is just making sure that you know that they're a fit or not a fit, and they can see that, so that we're not wasting each other's time, right? They don't show up on the interview, when you're like, oh, okay, we only have so much time. We don't want to waste their time. We don't want to waste our time. So just so that we can know, so they know that you're a fit. And so just going through the interviews, having your questions ready, doing the pre-interview work, doing the interview work, and then doing the post-interview work, right? Regardless of you hire them or you don't hire them, getting back to them, having that respect, right? How many times have you applied for a job and nobody even contacted you, nobody said anything, just had you in limbo? But just letting people know we don't
Still waiting to hear from Deloitte and Touche. Put my application with them for like executive assistant 15 years ago. They never called me.
Never called you back.
I'm on my own business now, guys.
So that's what you want to be able to do, because we've all been on the other side, right? And a lot of times people created companies because they didn't like where they worked at.
Yeah.
Right? So just being able to, you don't want people to leave your company because they don't like where they work at, and they don't like how they, just even that interaction, you didn't even work there. Right? But just with that interaction, just having that respect, we're all human beings at the end of the day.
I still feel that way about them 15 years later. You don't want anybody feeling that way about your company.
No, you don't want anybody feeling that way about your company, right? And it wasn't, and it may not be intentional, but they're just trying to be robots. They're looking at it as a number, right? And we have to look at these people as human beings.
Because they are. And the more that you treat people as human beings and respect them, and they respect you, when they come to work for your company, you are going to see that shine all the way through.
A lot of times we don't even see that people actually, it's not even how I treat you, right? It's how they see how you treat everybody else.
Yeah.
Right? They see how you treat the rest of the company. Right? They see how you treat your employees, how you talk about your workers, how you talk about your clients, right?
Yeah.
When people see that, and you don't have a culture of disparagement, and you don't, exactly. So that's another story.
I know. We'll get back to that one.
We'll get back to all that. But anyways,
we could be here for hours.
If y'all enjoyed this video, you already know we're gonna have another video.
Yep.
You already know me and Shireen is here, so we're gonna have another video. We'll see you in the next one. You guys have a great day. Make sure that you're thinking on your mindset. Get that CEO, because you are the leader of your company, right? It's all on you, all right?
Something I wanted to end this off with is, as the CEO, we create the cultures of our business, and that culture starts with who you're bringing in. And you have to have your core values set within yourself, within your team members, so that it shows to potential team members. Thanks again, you guys. See you next time.